Just before the video starts, I am new to making videos, and for some of the early minutes the audio will sadly have been cut out. It's a problem with OBS I had that I have now resolved, but sadly the first minute will basically be cut out of audio. It's just for the first two matches where I'm talking about Heroic OXG and G2 Wolves. Do I say that I believe that Heroic is just a stronger looking team than I believe OXG is, and that I believe the same basically for G2 Wolves. Otherwise, here is to remind up how my group were. I had 2 correct picks, being 10% correct only. So yeah, if you wanna know how to not believe the playoffs will go, look at this. If you want some good analysis on which team will actually win, look at someone else probably, because this will just be the most cursed thing in a week or so. Thank you. Two to one. Here 2 to is a 2-0 to Sonic's Gaming. BDS W7M. Okay, this can be a spicy one. W7M have been looking really sharp in my opinion, whilst BDS on and off. But I'm still going to say that W7M takes this in a 1-2 fashion. This means that if I understand the bracket correctly, Heroic will then go off to face M&M, G2 will face off to Lost One, Sonics against Koi, W7M against M80, Oxygen versus Space Station, Wolves versus FaZe, DC versus Astralis, and BDS against Liquid. Let's start off with the winners bracket then. Heroic M&M. M&M been looking like they are just on a whole other level. Bringing in Nathan did much better than what I expected of them coming into this SI. Heroic, they have been looking quite solid in my opinion, but I still believe that M&M will have an upper hand coming into this. But I still believe that Heroic can take a map. I will say that they take it 2 to M&M. G2 versus Lost One. This can be one of the more exciting games. I am really excited if we can get this map, because how Lost has played and how G2 has played, I believe that can make for some great siege, since G2 has been looking really strong, and I believe that Lost have been looking really strong, and in how they are playing, in both are very interesting siege ways. But how do I put this? It will be a close one, I would say, where I believe we can get a 40 rounds easily. So if we get this and Ace cast this will probably be a 45 rounder, but I still say G2 takes 1, 2, and Koi takes it. W7M M80. In my opinion, W7M should have come out first seed of Group A. Now they didn't, but they have just been looking dominant, as I thought they would. And I believe that they can actually take down M80 or Matey or however you want to say in a 2-0 fashion. This will be very interesting to see then. And now then for the loser bracket, where we will see teams fall like flies. OXG Space Station, an NA matchup. And just looking throughout the year, Oxygen has been looking better in the NIL than Space Station has, in my opinion. Space Station has been looking really weak this tournament in my eyes, whereas Oxygen has been looking quite good, to be fair. But the question is, do I give SSG a map or not? I believe Oxygen takes this 2-0 against Space Station Gaming. Wolf's Face. Even though I love the Wolves boys, I am unsure if they have the strength to take on a team like Face. But at the same time, Face has been looking quite off this SI. They weren't drawn into a super strong group, yet they fall 4th place. Do I believe Wolves can take them? It's a close call. But I do believe Wolves actually takes this. One, map to Dark Zero, and 2 to Astralis. BDS Team Liquid. Liquid came in looking much worse than I believed they would. BDS has been on and off. They lost to Cyclops, but have otherwise been looking very on and off. Liquid has just not been looking good. They were in a group that sure had some strong teams, and I don't know if it's just that Sonics, M&M and Wolves have been playing technically good, or if they have this is just not their major. But I actually believe that we will sadly see Team Liquid be eliminated from SI this early in a 2-0 fashion from BDS. Now, since I don't know exactly how if you lose in the upper bracket you will to where you will fall in the lower bracket, I have just assumed that highest up goes to highest up, second to second, third to third, fourth to fourth, if that makes any sense. Do I hope this is not the right way, because then we will see a rematch of Oxygen Heroic, but otherwise I'm quite happy and believes that they can still produce some quality Siege matches. But let's start off in the winners bracket here. G2 versus M&M. Big games here. Both because of it's a EU matchup. They will know each other quite well. And I would believe that this can be a very good match just because of the knowledge these teams can bring against each other. But now the question is, who do I believe will win it? I believe this can potentially be one of the closest games we can have that isn't potentially the grand final. And I believe that this will that this is where we can see the upper team winners going into the grand final. But maybe this is G2 Copium. Yes. To line up. I would be quite happy with that. But back here, Oxygen versus Heroic, and for the same reason as this match, like even though you may say, oh, Oxygen can have learned, I still don't see a reason why Heroic would lose to Oxygen. Sure, as I said, they can have learned from playing against Heroic already, but I do believe Heroic will just be the better team, and are the better team as of right now. So I'll just put the same score, a two score. Wolves lost 1. And here I believe this will be the stop for Wolves, sadly. I just don't see how unless lost ones have a bad day, how they lose to Wolves. And I actually believe this will be 2-0 fashion, if I can spell it out correctly. Yeah, sadly, I do love Wolves, but I just see Lost being a much better team as of right now. And for Astralis, Sonics, kind of same reasons. Sonics are just looking to be on another level than what Astralis are currently giving us. And for this reason, I believe we will see yet another 0-2, 2-0. BDS M80 on the other hand. This is an interesting matchup, as this can go in either way. The question is, who will be the better on the day? And this is a hard one. I have to really think over it, but as in my opinion, M80, I believe them to be a very emotional team, and I believe them losing to W7M can potentially bring on some stress to them. And this is why I believe BDS will eventually take it. So for the next set of matches, my audio got corrupted, sadly. But I will just run over what I believe of the next sets of matches. I just believe that Lost One is a team that's shown more potential than Heroic has done these tournaments, and I would be sad to see Lost lose to Heroic in this middle pack sort of area. And Sonics I have just seen as the more consistent team throughout this stage than BDS, and I just believe that while Sonics will eventually fall, it will not be to BDS. G2 Heroic, on the other hand here though, is one of the matches that I'm more interested in, and I really hope we can see a rematch of this from the groups, where I believe that G2 and W7M went to the teeth, really showed great siege, but I do believe that this time though G2 will find a way to close it out and take it against W7M. Now for the next set of matches. Lost one against Koi. And Koi, as I might have said, has really impressed me this SI. They've done much better than I believe they would have done. And even though I'm quite happy with how Lost has played, I see that this is where we eventually will see them fall out in a 1-2 situation, leading Koi to play one more match. And then we have Sonics against M&M. And this can be a really good rematch. We saw this in groups on day 4, where M&M took it 2-0, but it was in a max overtime and a 7-5. Do I believe the Sonics can reverse the mentality and go in winning? Well, maybe, but I believe in M&M, but I do believe that Sonics will take a map at 2 for M&M to win it. And now, to show off how I believe it will finally be, the audio got screwed over once more on this part, but I believe Koi M&M close matchup, but I just believe it will come down to Koi having that little more extra time with the roster than M&M. I believe that small factor will push them over the edge to take it. To then see W7M face off against Koi. And this is just where I believe W7M will have. This is a very equal match. I can't say one is more favored than the other, but in my eyes, W7M, great team. And I would be, if they make it to this, I would be really disappointed not to see them make it into the grand final. And in the grand final, G2 against W7M, a match for the ages in my eyes, where we can see the team that has had the dynasty team, but then fell off, how they've been able to rebuild themselves, or one of the teams that been looking really strong throughout the year, but never really been able to make it. But I still believe that the W7M will be crowded. Your world champions come SI 2023 in 1 week. Thank you.